Today, I would like to get at least $2,000 out. But what if you got two instant funding prop firm accounts, funding pips account, started it today, one step, 50K account, I'm already 4% up. Okay, we gotta go. I was a bit late on that, dang it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna take 50% off, guys. I'm gonna move it to break even and then we're just gonna let it ride out. If it takes me out, it takes me out. It is what it is. I'm gonna go to break even as well. All right, alrighty guys, welcome back. It is now Thursday. I've missed 2 days. I know I said I was gonna try and trade every single day. I have traded every single day, but I haven't been able to record. It's been a bit hectic. Yesterday, I rushed back. I actually got back just after New York Open. Thought I might have missed the trade, got back, something was happening. Had to just jump straight in. And I'm gonna what I'll start with is recapping where I am now. And I'm actually going to start going more aggro, right? I've got this 5%ers account that I've been kind of trading for a long time. And I'm at the point now that I just want to go aggro, and whatever happens, happens, because I want to get this out the way. And then I'm going to start that series I was talking about, which is starting small, right? So what I will do for that, as soon as this 5%ers account is, if we pass this 5%ers, that's going to be amazing, because then we potentially have a means of generating some capital to carry on with this challenge, right? But I'm still going to start slow. So, 1 second. Whoo-wee! That's some good shit. All right, where were we? Let me show you what has happened the past few days. So I've not taken anything off my charts. Let's go to Monday. Monday, I think you guys saw what I did on Monday, or at least 7 of you did. Thank you, 7 of you watching. Hey, it is what it is, right? But Tuesday. Tuesday was a tough day. As you can see, we went up and down. And in fact, I actually lost on Tuesday, right? So I took a full loss, was still only trading 1% per trade. My risk was 1%. On Monday, my risk was 1%. Yesterday, however, I decided, screw this, man. I'm going up to 2%. I'm going aggro. And yes, this is a 100K account. And I'm going big. So let me quickly jump over to there for you guys. All right, here we are. So let's go to history and I'll show you what happened. So on Monday, where was Monday? Monday was this day over here, which was where are we? The 20th, is that correct? 20th. Yesterday was the 22nd. Today is the 23rd. Yes. Oh no, Monday. Okay, 17. Yeah. So Monday, I actually started this strategy on Thursday, I think. So Thursday, we were just kind of testing things, make 65. Friday, we make 146, still just testing things. Monday, we kind of start with the full 1%. We go 176 because we didn't keep moving in the shelf. I was moving the shelf up. I'll talk about the shelf and how I do that. We got stopped out. Tuesday, very difficult day. I ended up taking a full loss, right? Now, technically speaking, Tuesday was a kind of a C grade setup. I'm not really looking at the grade of the setup yet. I'm just kind of going the same risk all the time. And I know a lot of people that trade orb talk about dynamic risk, right? And I'm getting there. I'm going to work towards that. Anyway, yesterday we had 2 trades. It was 1 trade, but I ended up closing one. I think, was it this one? I can't remember. Anyway, I can't remember how it went, but we made about $900 yesterday, right? So close to the 1%, even though I was risking 2, and that's because I did end up coming back and getting stopped out. I'm going to show you that here. So what ended up happening, I'll go back to the 5 minutes so we can talk about it. I've actually just thrown the MACD on today, something I'm looking at. Not going to pay too much attention, but I want to just kind of see what the Mac doing is being. what the Mac doing is doing at the same time as when I would be taking trades, right? Because maybe I could be filtering out trades that wouldn't necessarily be there, or I could just use it as an extra confluence for trades I am interested in taking, right? Okay, so there were 2 trades yesterday. So the first trade I took yesterday, let me just add this on. Now that I'm looking at it, there were definitely 2. The first was on the break. And in fact, yes. Was it over here? Was this yesterday? Yes, this was yesterday. So I don't think I took a trade there. It did break above, but I didn't take a trade. And I think this is where I took the first trade on the break there. And I think my stop was actually tightest, was about there. And I think we ended up pushing down, and then this started pushing back, and I just closed at 200. That's when the first trade hit. But as you can see, guys, if I kind of just let it be, and this is something I'm working on, there's 2 ways I can trade this. I can be very hands-on, or I can be very hands-off. And I've got to decide how I want to trade this. So I do still think the hands-on approach is not a bad approach, because in terms of just managing it, you have less chance of, blowing up. So for example, if I were to have got in this one, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Let's say I were to have got in the long, right over there. My stop maybe would have been like somewhere over here. And then we started pushing back. As soon as we started pushing back into this, we push up with that, and then this kind of keeps reversing. I would have closed, so we would have had a smaller loss rather than letting it ride to the full loss, right? So that's where I'm kind of like, I'm still playing around with it. I'm still kind of figuring out the orb. I understand price action, and I know how price moves. So I think I will be able to manage it dynamically, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at, especially when we are trading the 2%, take your money, leave, see if there's something else, right? So there were 2 opportunities yesterday, and I took both of them. The second one, however, let me just remove this one. So that, sorry. This was the first one. We ended up with just $200 because it pushed back. This one, however, I think my stop was a similar sort of place. We took our entry on the break, the retest and the break again. And I think I ended up going close to a 1-to-1. And I think I had to go. I couldn't sit and watch. I had a call. And because of that, I just felt like, you know what, let me just get back the loss from the day before, and then we'll start afresh. Unfortunately, this is one of those times that I could have let it run to the 1-to-2, and I would have hit the 1-to-2, and it would have been a 2% trade, and it would have been a $4,000 day. It wasn't to be. I kind of closed early. My trigger finger kind of just went off. Is what it is. So let's have a look. Today, what are we looking at? Now, first thing I have to mention is obviously we have news coming. Existing home sales. Forecast, the previous was 4 and forecast is 4.1, right? So do I hold and not trade, or do I just say screw it, let's go for it, but we just manage, right? We just manage and we see what happens in and around the news. If I feel like, okay, I'm happy with where I am, let's say by the time we have news, I'm already in a trade and I'm already at kind of my break-even point, I can let it ride, right? Push it to the 2-to-1, because with a big news hit, it could potentially drive me straight into my take profit, which would be a 2-to-1. If I'm risking 2% today, that's a 4K day. If it comes back and I have got my risk already at break-even, leave it, let it be, and we just, let the hit take, and then we just leave it for the day, maybe look and see if there's a potential entry later on. So that's how I'm going to play it. And I'm going to bring you along for everything, right? So I'm gonna stop it here. For you, it's going to carry on. I'm going to come back as soon as we have our 15-minute opening range, and we're going to start just watching, and we're going to enter today. We're going to see if we can get a 4K day. If we get a 4K day today, that'll be amazing. That'll take us from, we are on 1,653. We've kind of stayed level in comparison to what you would have seen on Monday, because we had the losing day, made back the money yesterday. If I'd let it ride, it could have been a much bigger day. We would have been on about 3,000 and close to 4,000. Is what it is, right? We trade another day, see how it goes. But today, I would like to get at least $2,000 out, right? So if, let's say we are at the 1-to-1, $2,000 on the table, and this is before news, I might just pull out, take the $2,000 and leave it, right? Or like I said, the other option is to, okay, I think if we are buying today, if we are going longs and we hit the 1-to-1, go break even, I'm going to let it ride, right? Just based on the, what we're looking at, the forecast and all that, there's a potential we could go up. So I'm going to leave it at that. If we are selling, what I'll do is if we get to the 1-to-1, I'll take the $2,000 off the table and we'll leave it there. Okay, so that's how I'm going to play it. So I'm going to be back as soon as we have printed our orb, our opening range, and then we're going to start trading and you guys can come along with me. It's going to be a slightly longer video today, is what it is. I'm going to just take you guys along everything I do today. And this is what this channel is going to be now. I'm not holding back. I'm going to trade everything. You guys are going to see everything. I've got a few very cool ideas as well, right? Hear me out. Idea number one is I'm going to start the kind of going lower, but going super aggressive, make some money, buy in some more, scale up, start small, go big, and just see where that can take me, right? So that's game plan number one, or series number one, or option number one, or idea number one. Idea number two, hear me out here. I was thinking about, because with Blue Edge, I trade, at the moment I'm not, I just want to see what's happening here. At the moment, I'm not hedging, right? I decided to go in a little bit more aggressive, as in I'm buying more 50K accounts and I'm just trading. I think at the moment I am in on 6 different challenges with Titan X. If you guys don't know what Titan X is, go have a look at some of my other videos where I talk about Titan, or go to Blue Edge Financial. I do all the videos on Blue Edge and we talk about Titan X. So go have a look. But if you are coming from this channel, going to Blue Edge and you're interested, do me a favor, come back to my channel and tell me you're interested, because then I can get you a fantastic deal, right? I promise you I can get you a fantastic deal. If you come back to my channel, you're interested in the Blue Edge thing, come back here, message me and say I'm interested in Blue Edge. I will set you up with a link that will get you a 20% discount, okay? So I'm not really pushing that because that's not the point, but I do talk about Blue Edge and I talk about the other thing that I do, the prop farming. And every time I do talk about it, it's worth mentioning that if you come back to me, I will get you a good discount, right? So the option, so with that, I was thinking, because someone actually asked me on that channel, why don't you hedge prop firm against prop firm, right? Because we hedge prop firm or live account against the prop firm, and essentially all we're doing is trying to make back, if we fail the challenge, we make back our challenge fee, or most of it. We normally make around 80% of our challenge fee back, right? Then I was thinking, someone asked me, why don't you hedge prop firm against prop firm? Now, it doesn't quite work, right? Because you've got, if you're doing the 2-phase, if you do both challenges have to have the 10% profit target as well as the 10% maximum drawdown. So you've got 10 each way. That's how it'll work. Because if you're making 10 on one, you're losing 10 on the other. One will pass, one will fail. Then you would have to go to phase 2, where you now go to a 5% and a 10%, right? So how are you going to do that? That gets a bit tricky. So then you would have to put that one aside, start another 2 phase 1s until you get a 2 on phase 2. You would then have to run the 2 phase 2s together. But if you pass one, it means the other one's only going to be 5% down. Then you've got to decide, do I just run this one, let it go? Or do I wait for another phase 2 and run those? And, so I was like, that I guess a bit complicated. But what if you got 2 instant funding prop firm accounts with exactly the same criteria, exactly the same rules from different prop firms, buy into both of them, right? So let's say you're doing, I'm going to try and test this with a 5 or a 10K, right? But this is still to come. Have them both. Every single day I take a trade, it's going to be buy on this one, sell on this one, right? And eventually my target is going to be 5%, right? So let's just do this in terms of a 100K account. It's normally, I think, about 1,500, 1,000. It can go from 1,000 to $1,500 because it's a lot more because it's an instant, right? So let's say you put down the 1,500, you've paid that for 2 accounts, right? Let's say on average you've spent $3,000 to get both accounts, right? You push for 5%. So one of them is going to hit 5%, the other is going to lose. Now the one that hits 5%, you now have made $2,000 profit. So you've made back your 3K because 5%, right? Your 5% target, and now you are, okay, you probably want to push for 6% because of the 80%, right? Once you get your 80%, you know, around 5,000. Once you take your payout, it's around 5,000. And that means you've got your $3,000 back and you've now made a profit of $2,000, right? And that's almost a guaranteed because you're pitting them against each other. But then you've still got an account, right? And then you just got to buy one. Now you're just buying into one, which is costing you 1,500. Now you go for that 5% again. Now if you hit 5%, you're going to hit 5% on one of them. So it's only going to be your first 2 challenges that cost you the most, but you make your money back. Then you're just rolling with one challenge every single time against your one that you've already got. 1,500, you're making 5,000. At that point, you're making 3,500 profit every single time, right? That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. You guys let me know. Do you think that'll work? If you guys think it'll work and you want to see me test it, put that down in the comments. Say, I want to see the instant funding hedging plan. I'll do it. All right. I've been talking too long. Let's wait till this comes into time to trade, and then we'll get trading. All right. We'll see you guys in a bit. Alrighty, guys. We are already not in, but we have the 15 orb has been printed, pushing very bullish. So let's see how this 5-minute closes. I'm getting ready to trade this. Okay, this is actually a funding pips account. Started it today, 1 step, 50K account. I'm already 4% up. This is what I was talking about, Titan X doing its thing. If you're interested, make sure you jump into some of my other videos or just comment the word Titan. Where are we going? We are going not over there, but we are going over there. All right, so we're going to wait for the 5-minute to close. This is actually very bullish, so I might even wait for a small retracement here. I might even just wait to see if we push back into there with a... I'd like to see a retest here just because it is so strong. All right, let's go back to the 5-minute. Still got some time to play with. Let's have a look at what our position is going to look like anyway. Go to about 3 over there. I did have a feeling we were going to be buying today, guys. I had a feeling. I'm going to push that to about there. I want to take this at least to up there. I will do a 1 to 2. So that's kind of what I'll be looking at. I see we're retracing already. We are already retracing on this one. So I just want to see what price does. Might even look at 2 trades. So maybe I'm gonna split my 2% into 2 trades today. I'll go one to start off with, and then if I feel like I can re-enter, I'll do another. Or if I lose the first, then I'll re-enter just to at least get my money back. Worst case scenario, I lose 2%. Want to see how this one closes out though. So you can see on the 5% here, guys, this, I don't really like where we are. We are already pushing up. We had the switch over like there. Let's have a look at the 15. Okay, on the 15, it's pretty good. We've just switched over now. We've just switched over. So on the 15, it looks pretty good. I do want to see a little cutback, retest, and I will go on the retest. Okay, I'm not going to go directly in. I'm going to go in on the retest. Although I might actually go with a 1% wherever we break here. What is my thing here? 56. So I'm going to go 56 over here. So this is going to be 56. 5,600. Just going to get this ready so long. Actually, this is not right. Let me just get rid of this. We're actually going to risk 1%. We're going to start with a 1%. As soon as this closes, we're going to go 1%. If we get a retest, we'll scale in with the second. I might go slightly bigger, actually. I might go slightly bigger with my stop just because 56. I'm going to go to about 60. And then this will be a 1, 2. About there. Yep. Looks good for me. Right, this is looking good, guys. We're going to enter the first one. As soon as this closes, we're going to enter. Okay, we gotta go in, we gotta go. I was a bit late on that, dang it. A bit late on that one. Now we're gonna see if we get a retest. If we do get a retest, I'll enter my second, but I'll keep the same stop. Hold on, let me just copy this, copy and paste. So we were actually a little bit higher on the first one. We're probably over there. If we do retest, I'm gonna push down to about here. All right, we're in, guys. Let's see how this goes. Now, if we look left, guys, we have broken all of this, broken that. Our next area is kind of coming into this. I'm looking at this 15-minute FEG there, an imbalance up the top there. That's where I'm looking at. So what I could do now is I could always start kind of shelving in if I want. Where would my shelves start? So some people would start the shelves on the break. So basically over there. I like to shelf just basically on my lows. Let me show you what that means. So basically this would be my first shelf over here. That would be my shelf. So if we get to there, I'd actually potentially close. Now, if we do come back down, I could look at re-entering, right? So if we have a little bit of a kickback, let me just go back to the 5 minute. So I'm just going to move this one out the way because this is not really ready yet. We could potentially look at bouncing back to like midway through this at least, maybe. But if this is the perfect setup, perfect trade, we keep pushing higher, get to the 1-to-1, I'll bring my stop to break even. Maybe I'll close 50%. I'll see how I feel. Otherwise, we'll just let it run. Close 50%, $500, and then let the rest run out, $750 if it gets to the thing, and then that's what, $1,250. I'm happy with that. See how this runs out, see how this trades. If we do get a pullback, I will look at entering my second position. US stocks open steady as oil surges, earnings roll in. Like to see that. So, stocks open steady. Very good. What news we got? Tesla slumps, American airline earning, Russia oil. All right, that was a nice close on that candle. Very strong close on the 5 minute. So pushing up nicely. Let's have a look where we are now. $400. I need to get to about here somewhere. So essentially this, we need to get to, see the problem is we are literally coming into that FEG. So I have to watch that FEG. If we bounce off of that, just want to mark that up on this chart quickly. If I go to the 15 minute, I might even close if I see that we are kind of rejecting there, and then re-enter on the retest. If we get a retest, because we might initially just react off of that like we are now. So potentially as soon as we get to the 500, I might even close. If we can close on 500, I might even take that profit, take it, and then go with the retest. Let's go to the 5 minute. Oh man, that's a big push down. Like I said, we re-enter on the retest. Let's see how far we push down though. Right, you see where our shelf could be there. So on the 1 minute, I could already be taking my small profit, but it's just not enough. I want to see if we get to there. We're kind of bouncing off of yesterday's opening range. You see how strong these opening ranges can be. We're getting a bounce off of that. Now what I want to see is I want to see if we actually come back, retest this. Opening range all the way down here, which we might do. Because it was a very, very strong push up, guys. So we might have a retracement off of that. But like I said, I would like to see it go up into this FEG. And if we can get about 500 out, I might even close it and then wait for the retest and then go in again with another 1%. So then essentially I've risked 2% for the day. But one on the risks, I've already made back $500. And then essentially the risk is only 1.5%. But we just got to see how deep this goes now. And the other thing is, okay, hold on. I'm going to close now. I'm going to close because I've totally forgotten about this news. I'm just going to close. I'm going to take that $100. We got news coming in the next minute. We have got some red folder news. I just want to see how we react. We might actually push. It might not do anything, but I just want to take what I've got. Let the news play out. It might not do anything. I always said that if I was up to break even for the news, I'd let it ride out, but I'm not break even yet. Even if we got to the 500, I maybe would have held it. But at the moment, let's just see. Yeah, now it's pushing up. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll only re-enter if we get a retest on the opening range. If not, then that's it. I take, what is it, like a very small one today is what it is. Like I said, guys, I'm managing these today. We've had a massive push up today. I'm just managing these for now. $109. Not the best day ever, considering I wanted to risk 2%. I only risked 1. The reason being is because we had news coming up and because we had already had such a big push up that I didn't want to risk it. I didn't really consider this as a setup, not for me at least. Now we have got a 5 minute FEG over there after that massive push up. If we look at the 15, there's a very big 15 FEG over there, right? And we also have a, oh, there it is. Okay, it is there. So we have a very big 15 minute FEG. And even if we push further down, we could potentially push into there's a 15 minute OB there as well. You see how we're pushing down now. I don't think the news is really affecting it. I don't think there's really anything happening with the news, to be honest. Wall Street set for lower open as Tesla IBM results underwhelming. Okay, so this came in, actual was very close to the forecast, so yeah, slightly lower than forecast. So not a huge amount happening there. But we are kind of really being tested by yesterday's opening range. See how strong these areas can be, guys. Yesterday, we actually were in the opening range of the day before, broke below that to basically create the new opening range, then broke below that. It was like a double break, and that's why, I mean, not why, but you can see how strongly that pushed once it had broken both. And you see the day before we were pushing out, didn't break because the previous day, look again, the previous day opening range, how strong it acted. So this was trying to break out, but the previous day was kind of holding it there. I want to see if we come back and retest this and what MACD is doing at the retest. Like right now on the 15-minute, we are still looking good in terms of the MACD. We've just kind of had the crossover there on the MACD, the what are they called? The oscillator, the signal line and the oscillator. So there it looks good, right? But the cross happened there. So that is the move up there. Very strong push up. And just looking at where price could be going, right? Where could price be going? The only place I could see there was yesterday there was an FEG that was left out over there on the 15-minute. You can see that over there. There was this imbalance that has still been left from yesterday's big push down. So you can see there was a massive push yesterday. There was an imbalance, but that has never been refilled. So we could potentially be coming to refill that. If you look at the daily, yesterday's high is all the way over here. Still a long way off, really, isn't it? Kind of filled that FEG there perfectly with that push up now. Had a little push down now, just pre-market. So that could have just been taking out these lows, grabbing some liquidity for the push up. But are we going to keep pushing up? So now maybe what I can do, like I said to you guys, is I can look at a re-entry, right? I've just got to see, is my dynamic size still going to be the same? Let's have a look after the volume we've had now. I'd like to see if I can get in somewhere around here. And then my stop would kind of be over there. But I'm going to see, I want to see a candle that tells me we have that turnaround. I'm not just going to enter blindly, guys. You see we have a strong push around there. I would have been under. So it was a good idea for me to close when I did. Sometimes you just got to kind of be able to follow. And this is why I'm saying, like, you know, yes, it's fine. I can test as much as I want with the no real management, no dynamic management. You just either hit your loss or your thing. But if you are watching and you can kind of take price for what it is and you can read price and you can see things happening, like now I could potentially still turn around and still get to the 1-to-1. It is what it is, right? And in that case, if I just left it alone, yes, I could have maybe got to that point. But with this FEG there, even if we push down and we break with the tail but come back and then that FEG is filled with the tail and then we turn around, I would have still been stopped out, right? You can actually watch it on the 1 minute. We have a nice little kind of market shafter strifter. What language is that? I just made up my own language, my own trading language. Market shafter shifter. A market structure. Oh my God. A market structure shift. If we can see some kind of shift on the 1 minute, kind of, backing up what I'm talking about on the 5 minute. The other way is you just look for a candle on the 5 minute to, maybe a doji or a kangaroo tail or whatever it is, looking at those kind of candles that can show you that there is some kind of rejection happening there. Or you just look at the market shifter shafter. Market shifter shafter. There we go. You guys learned it here first. The market shifter shafter. I'm happy though. I'm very happy that, yes, I could have potentially got a little bit higher and maybe got close to my 500. Ended up only what did I get? $100. $100 is what it is, right? Money's money at the end of the day. If it's on the table, it's yours, right? If it's not on the table yet, it's not yours. You can't take it home. At least I can take that. With that $100 now, I know that between yesterday and the day before, I'm now a little bit up. Because I did have a losing day. So just making that back slowly. And now just waiting for just a really good setup. Something that I can just get to that 1-to-1 and then leave the trade to kind of play out. Maybe take 50% off the table and then let it play out, right? We'll see. But is this enough of a market shifter? Look at what the 5-minute is looking like as well. Look at that. Look at that. Still got 3 minutes on that candle though, so it's a nice little retester. Maybe to get back up to there. Still have not broken this high there. Look where all the volume was, guys. All the volume was down here as well. So for me, I want to see it come back down. I want to see it come back down and retest where the volume was, because this is where all the action has happened. Right? You see that? You see where all the action has happened. So I just feel like now it just could be a test. It just could be a test. What'd I just say? What'd I just say?
Wrong way.
Yeah, wrong way.
Wrong way.
Wrong way. Exactly. Jaydan, I'm turning you off now.
Wrong way.
Thank you very much. But he's also going for buys. Just when you get in. When are you getting in, right? Now look here, guys. Exactly what I talked about. Remember what I said about that FEG not being respected. We've broken that FEG, right? So we haven't technically broken it. If we actually close, which it looks like we are going to. A lot of people might have got in on that 5, right? But we haven't actually tested. We haven't retested yet. Are we going to retest? Let's see what it looks like on the 15. On the 15-minute, we have one candle break. I want to retest. You look at Big Daddy Max, right? The king of orb. What does he talk about? He talks about the 15-minute breaking, and then that retest is like A+ setup, right? He often talks about that. And we could potentially be looking at Big Daddy Max A+ setup here, right? We could be, potentially. A lot of what I've learned on Orb has been from Big Daddy Max. I love his channel. I love watching what he does. And I wish I could trade the Orb like him. I'm learning as much as I can from him. But like he says, you've got to trade it your own way, right? Trade it your own way. Now, look at this, guys. We are getting a rejection off of that. Now, technically speaking, guys, we have not broken below. I'm going in. I'm going. Am I yet? Not yet. Not yet. Take the hands off. Take the hands off. You see, we're getting too trigger happy. Trigger happy. Wait till the signal's there. We've broken that. So that's it. We now need to come in and retest. The first retest is going to be on that 15-minute, guys. I'm liking the retest here. We've got a lot of room to play with over there. And I like what's happening on the 1 minute with the MACD, guys. We're running out of steam potentially. If that MACD turns around on the 1 minute and we start looking at things changing. So I'm talking about the MACD. There's a lot of power in the MACD. And look here, we're still getting that turnaround over here. So we could actually potentially push even deeper. Just looking at the MACD on the 5 minute. Could potentially be coming there as well. Not a huge push up. We've had our push up. We're generally seeing, at the moment for me, I just feel like we're not there yet. We're gonna get a crossover here. So for me, maybe not quite ready. You can see how we're running out of steam here. Are we gonna respect this FEG, or are we gonna dive deeper into the further FEG down the bottom there? What did he say? There's nothing more powerful than a failed push, right? So a failed bullish move into a strong bearish. All right, we're getting a move there. We're getting a move there, guys. I think this is it. I think I'm going to go in. Maybe too early, but I don't care. We're going to do it. Could possibly be too early. I'm going to delete this, though. Delete that. And delete that. So we went in about over here, I think. This one is finished, so we're just going to push this there. Just to remind ourselves that we did take 2 trades. Now we haven't yet had the break. You know, maybe I'm a little bit early. We do still want to see the break of this on the 1 minute. Would be nice. If we have a break of that at the same time as we're getting the cross on the MACD, that'll be good. 5 minute, however, okay, we respected that with the retest. If this candle is a very strong candle, a very strong 5 minute candle, I'm going to be very happy. Ooh, look at that push, guys. Look at that push. Come on, break that high. Just break that high. Look at the rejection off of there. Very nice. Very nice. Right, if we get to the 1-to-1, I'm going break even, and then we are basically going to be pushing for the 1-to-2. Come on, that was such a nice push. Let's just keep that momentum. Come on, let's keep pushing up. Let's keep pushing up. It was a really nice retest. Now we've had a break as well of that high. Now what I would like to see is I'd actually like to see a break of this area here. We get a break of that, and then potentially now, because if you look at what we're looking at now, we've got, this is our high, and just above that high is an area of imbalance. So for me, I would like to see that high be taken, the imbalance filled, and then whether it breaks through or not, I don't know. If it breaks through, I'm just going to hold my trade, obviously. We're going to keep holding. 600 at the moment. If we can just break that high, I can then potentially bring my trade to break even. I mean, I'm already tempted to shave some off, but see, I feel like I keep doing this too early. Would have been nice to get in on the retest all the way down there, but I just want to see if we can break this high. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you look at what's happened, we have disrespected that FEG. We pushed above that, creating a new FEG. We had this overlap with a retest, pushing back up, breaking that that previous, inversing that FEG. And we've had this little switch over on the MACD, which is really nice. If we can get another push up similar sort of height to this, that'll be lovely. I feel like we just need to break this high, because breaking this high is also kind of breaking into yesterday's area. Now we're having a strong rejection again, which I don't like. What does it look like on the 5 minute? Yeah, you see, I don't like that. I really don't like that. This area is proving to be very strong. I've actually got to shoot in a bit, so I'm tempted to just take 50% off the table. Yeah, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to take 50% off, guys. I'm going to move it to break even, and then we're just going to let it ride out. If it takes me out, it takes me out. It is what it is. I'm going to go to break even as well. All right. So we're just going to let this ride out. If we can break that high, we're looking good. I'm going to not trade this too risky today. It looks like it could be a really good setup, but I'm still kind of feeling my way through this, still feeling it, still trying to just guarantee some profit. Currently sitting on, a little over $2,000 profit. We've had an okay day. I wouldn't call it a great day. Took a small bit of profit from there, pushed down. But potentially still be in the first trade. Or was I willing to put a full 2% on that? No, because I would have been sweating my balls off. I want to see. Right, we now do have this FEG over here, right? It's a very small FEG right over there. Can we respect that? If we respect that FEG and then break that high, then this is going, I think this is going to go all the way. The only wall we have thereafter is this FEG, because like I said, it'll be perfect play would be sweeping this and then grabbing the imbalance, or whether or not it's going to keep pushing through. Maybe. I like that candle. I really like that candle. That looks really good. All right, let's see. Am I still in focus? I am. All right, I like the look of that candle, guys. You can see there's actually a little FEG there. Small little FEG that's just tapped into. Can we just push up now? I just feel like we need a little bit more volume. A little bit slow at the moment. And we're also coming to the top of the 5 minute with the MACD there. $15 is still looking good. We can still push up. There's still some room to breathe on the 15 there. 15 looks okay to me. There we go. Let's have a look. Break this high, and then ultimately breaking that high is where we want to be. This is just internal. This is the high we want to break. Broke that, push down, new low. Got to break this now. So ultimately we do need to break this. But either way, guys, it doesn't matter because I'm risk free now. Yes, I went risk free a little bit early. I did go a little bit early, guys, but I just feel like look at the candles, look at the wicks. Look at the wicks here. We've got a lot of on the 5 minute. The wicks here are really, this area is really kind of holding it. If we can break this high, break this high, and break through yesterday's opening range, the low of the range, that's looking good. But there just seems to be a lot of resistance here. A lot of resistance. Right, can we break this high, guys? Can we break the high? Next high is this one. All right, let's have a look. What are we looking at it now? So we're currently looking at an extra $300. What are we looking at for the day so far? We are looking at the 200 plus 3, so 300 and call it 330. 330 with another 300 in play, that's 600. I'd like to at least get 1,000 today. If we do go all the way up here, that's $1,300. So what I might do now is I might on the 5 minute start shelving in. So I'll show you how I do that. We break this now, our next shelf is going to move there. We can move our stop loss to below there, right? If we break this, I like it. I like it. It's been a little bit slow. Volume has been a little bit slow today. I like much faster moves, but sometimes this is how you got to trade, right? Now we're being tested there. I want to see it break above there. Can we break above that? If we break that, that's looking really good. You see how it's just holding this whole area, man. It's just, I feel like if we break above these highs, we could potentially fly. Yes, there is still that area of imbalance that I think we're going to see a little bit of. So I think we're going to potentially break up what I'd like to see. Now, whether it'll happen or not, I'd like to see us eventually, we could probably going to play around over there. I'd like to see break up there. Now, I think here we might end up seeing a little bit of a play around, and then hopefully we can push up even higher. Push up higher above there. Can I just get rid of that? And push up to higher. That's what I think might happen. The other thing that'll happen is we are just not going to break. The other option is we're not going to be able to break here, right? We've pushed up here. We're not going to be able to break here, and then I think we might end up pushing down potentially to these lows. So basically what I've just said is it can go either way. All right, there we go. We've broken, guys. We've broken. Let's see what happens up here. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Let's see what this looks like. $400. That's nice. Can we break this high now? I feel like this is going to hold. I think, I don't want to move that. I feel like this break is going to hold now. What I'd like to see now is I'd like to see the break of both. Which I think that, no, it didn't, never mind. Right, we haven't broken both. But if this candle closes, then we have. What are we looking like on the 5? Yeah, that's exactly what we need to break on the 5. Are we going to push through this area of imbalance as well? So essentially now, I can move. This can be our shelf right over there. I want to break that high first before I confirm that as a shelf. Which will not. You see how strong that area is. Sorry guys, this is a longer video today, but I'm just giving you everything. Today I'm giving you everything, the full trade. I'm not holding anything back. I'm showing you guys how I am trading, how I manage these. And like I said, I've decided to be a little bit more hands-on with these trades. This is pushing high. Let's have a look on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute, we still have, this is still pushing up. I think this potentially could still go high as that. If we are breaking this, we should, technically what we should see, if we get a higher high here, we should technically still see a higher high on the MACD as well, right? Which means we still got some room to play around with. So let's see if that plays out. Now we're coming up to that next wall. The next wall I talked about, guys, was this area right over there. So like I said, what I could do here, guys, is I could move my stop to there, which guarantees me another 140. Worst case scenario, $140 in the bag. I am, however, tempted to just, I mean, we can still play this on the 1 minute, right? On the 1 minute, it's the same. On the 1 minute, it's the same. We knew we were going to bounce off of this, but can we push through this? Can we push all the way through? So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I think if we get a break below the current FEG, we've got an FEG over here. You can see how our FEG holds up. Now, bearing in mind, it is only the 1 minute, right? So it's not as strong, but it is still an area that we can look at. I don't think that is right. Let me just zoom in over here, guys. Yeah, there we go. If we don't respect that FEG, I think I'm just going to pull. I'm going to pull. If we close below that FEG, I might just pull the trade. But there's always a chance, you know, we do respect this FEG, but am I willing to let it go that far? Now, let me tell you what I'd love to see. I'll tell you what I'd love to see. I would love to see this just fly through this area of imbalance, not even respecting that FEG at all on the 15 minute. I think it's the 15 minute. Let's have a look. This FEG was from yesterday. Yes. Now we are breaking above the lower opening range yesterday, which is good. It's not really causing us a problem now. But the only problem is the brick wall that I talked about, which is now we're tapping into this right now. Currently tapping into this brick wall. But how do we react to the 1 minute? If we close below this one, if we close below, I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull and call it a day if we close below. Just there's a lot of resistance there. If we don't close below and we tail back up, that could be very good. This is kind of the seller's last attempt. We did close below. I said I was going to close, guys, so I'm going to close. I'm going to close this. All right, we're out. I think we did all right. So what did we end up doing for the day? 109 plus the 500, so 680, close to 700 for the day. I'm happy with that. I'm more than happy with that. And it's the first time I think I've basically just gone through the whole trade with you guys. So that's how I'm trading it, guys. Yes, I could have just left it because technically speaking, I would still be in the first trade and I'd still be in this trade, right? So there's two ways I can trade this. I can trade this by just leaving this. The only way this one will end up in profit is if it gets to this high without breaking this low. And the only one this one would ever have got into profit is by basically getting up to a similar sort of high. So we'll see. Will they ever go? But remember, this one would still not even be at break even yet. The first one would still not be at break even yet. And sometimes, do you want to go that long with, you know, waiting to get to break even? Not really. And there was just too much resistance. There was too much barrier for price for me then. That's why I kind of just closed early. I wanted to see that retracement. I wanted to see that retest. Got a really nice retest. I could have been a little bit earlier. I could have maybe been in there. I was looking at the 1 minute. Is what it is, guys. We are now kind of bouncing off of this FVG, the lower FVG, like I talked about. But I've made my call. I've made my decision. I'm happy with my decision. No matter what happens, you can see we are getting a turnaround on the MACD as well. So maybe not, everything's not lining up. And you know, that's why I like the MACD, because there's just a little bit of extra confluence, kind of giving an idea of where price might be and what might be happening. That's a very nice turnaround off of that lower FVG though. If we break that, I think we're going to go to the highs. Yes, we could have got more, but I'm happy with it, guys. $700 for the day. Very happy with that. Been a pretty good run. If we look at the history now, yes, we had the one loss, but since last week, was it Thursday or Friday? Last week, Friday, we've had that one, small win, decent win, normal size loss, small win. Yesterday, no, sorry. Decent win. Yesterday was 800. Today is close to 700. So yeah, between the 2 days, close to 1,500. Easily made our loss back plus a bit more. Like to start seeing some bigger days, but I'm kind of building. I'm building my confidence, building my feel for the market around this time. We are pushing up now, so I could have possibly left it. I've made my call. I've got to be happy with that, right? You can't keep beating yourself up about silly things. If we break above this area of imbalance, I think then it will push to the full target. Now we are seeing that. That is a very nice candle. That bullish candle with the long tail there, and that tail's tapping into not only the order block, but also the FVG over there. Very nice. Could potentially have still been in this, but it is what it is, guys. Leave it there. Tomorrow, when I come on, we'll kind of recap where this ended up and what we could have done. How I could have traded it differently, because that's how we learn, right? We learn, what did the market do? How did we trade it? How could we have done any different? But at the same time, I'm still very happy, right? Money on the table is your money. I've put money on the table. I've secured money. I'm happy with that. I can't be cross with that. Market was very choppy today. It was up and down. Didn't move consistently in one direction. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. It was a longer video, but I gave you everything. I showed you everything I was doing. I was, you know, not holding back. Full trade from start to finish. You guys joined me for the full trade, right? So thank you for those who did join me. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, because this is what I'm going to be doing, guys. I might be able to only do this like maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but I will be giving you my recap. We are now on the 5%. Like I said, there's a lot of other stuff coming. As soon as I've passed or failed this 5%, I'm going to try and get more aggressive. Like I said, just getting the feel for it. If we can pass this, I'll go to phase 2. Pass phase 2, if we can potentially get the 100K funded account with the 5%, I'll be looking for like about 2% profit and then be taking it every time. So slowly just building some capital. With that capital, like I said, we've got a few other ideas, very cool ideas that you guys can follow me. And I'll be trying to trade those live. I will do lives. I will trade these live as well. But the problem is I have no one watching. I'm not going to do this, you know, for no one to watch, because then the live goes into the live section and no one watches it. So it just seems like a complete waste of my time. So I want to just get, you know, a few people interested, seeing what I'm doing, maybe following these trades. Even though they are recorded, they are still live. I'm still trading them live in the recording. You guys have seen that. And I don't really see too many other YouTubers doing that. So I want to be, you know, completely transparent with you guys. Do it this way. And then we've got some cool things coming. So make sure you subscribe, guys. Hit that sub button and like the video if you liked it. Comment if you want to see some more about the Titan. Like I said, I've got one in phase 2, not doing so well. Another one on 4% on a single phase. A few others kind of just dancing around, but I'm in 6 different challenges at the moment. So that's all going. I'm not really focusing on that on this channel, but I am going to talk about that. So if you guys want to see more about that, go to Blue Edge Financial, go over to that channel, have a look. You'll see my face because I do all the videos there as well. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you maybe tomorrow if we jump on another one. But yeah, winning day, happy with that. Bye, guys.